three lessons, I have a surprise prepared for you, which is not expected. It's a surprise. So yeah. Welcome to lesson 10. Today we're going to be talking about accommodation, and our topic for today are the two letters V and W, which are some of the most problematic for Uzbek students. I would say that like t and like the and and the are the most problematic, whereas I think you can hear my fan. I apologize. Ta and the are the most problematic, whereas sorry, not ta and the, but like V and W are the second most problematic. So that's what we're also gonna that is also what we're gonna be talking about today. Sorry, I like my teacher mode has not been activated. I've been kind of struggling so much, different kinds of work. It can be hard. All right, sorry. Let's get to it. Accommodation. The first thing is apartment block. Block doesn't mean like a block on Instagram or on some kind of social media. Block means like block in general can be used to talk about like a lot of something. So when you have some kind of collection of, I guess, not a collection of poems, but like text, you can say a block of text. If you have a lot of water, you can call that a block of water, a lot of like water bottles, for example. So yeah, apartment block means like a place where there's a lot of apartments. By the way, I gotta share it to you guys. My microphone is like my microphone right now that I'm using, it's like a clip mic. It's like one of those little microphones that they use whenever you record a video, and I have to put it somewhere. And the only thing that I had like close to me that was usable was a bucket of KFC chicken. And so now it's like my microphone is right here, and right next to my microphone is just a lot of chicken. And like while I'm speaking, I can smell all this chicken. It's really funny. I'll post a picture into the speaking course chat later so you guys can understand what I'm going through for this lesson. Yeah. Next word is back garden. So back garden is basically it's kind of like the word backyard. In American English, we say backyard. I think this should be somewhere here as well. There's two yards basically. Like yard is like a garden. Yeah, it's like a synonym for the word garden. And you have a back garden and you have a backyard and a front yard. So back garden is like a synonym of backyard. Next is to do up a property. So do up in this case, whenever you use the word up, it means to make it better. So it's like, for example, if you have average normal building boring, you do it up, and now it's like Euro renovation and everything like looks really cool. So that's called to do up a property. Next is a dream home. This is just some kind of house that you think is perfect. I would recommend to use this collocation whenever you are describing your house. And often actually on part 2, it comes up that there's a topic called describe your dream house. So you could just be like, I would like to describe my dream home. So it's a good collocation. Next is a first time buyer. There are no opposites to this. So we don't say like second time or third time buyer. We just say first time buyer. And this means a person that is buying a property for the first time, basically. And this doesn't necessarily need to be about accommodation. You basically use this about anything that is expensive. Like if you're buying, I don't know, some KFC or something like that, you don't really say like I'm a first time buyer. But for more expensive things, first time buyer is more applicable. So like a house, for example, you can call that someone that buys that a first time buyer. Next is fully furnished. So this is an adjective that's used to describe a house that has all the furniture already, like refrigerators, everything. If I would use it in a sentence, actually, I'm going to use a couple of these in a sentence. I recently looked at my dream home. As a first-time buyer, it's important for me to buy a fully furnished property, and it's preferable if it has a back garden. So just some usage of these words. Hopefully that makes sense. Home comforts. A synonym of this word that I use sometimes, quite often, it's called amenities. I'm going to write that down. Amenities. Amenities. Amenities, in general, as a noun, it means any kind of thing in a house or any kind of thing as a whole that is helpful, something that you like, something, like, for example, nearby amenities for my house would be a park and a restaurant. So it's like you're describing the things that are near your house that are nice to have near your house, like things that are good to have. So that's called an amenity. Another thing that amenity can be used for is like specifically in the house, you can talk about like Wi-Fi or having running water. Those are technically amenities. Yeah, so it's a comfortable things. House hunting. This is the practice of trying to find a house. You can use this whenever it's like a lot of apartments or houses that you're looking at once, or just one. That's also called like house hunting. And another word is apartment hunting. Yeah. Next is a housewarming party. So this is whenever when your house is cold and you decide to warm it up. No, I'm joking. So housewarming is like, for example, when your friend buys a new house, right, and you decide to make a surprise for him, or for example, he decides to celebrate that like I guess accomplishment or just that situation. And he throws a party. So that's called a housewarming party because like it makes the house feel like a home, I guess you could say. I'm actually gonna write that down. I don't think that's here. It's a really cool phrase. It's very yeah, I'm gonna write that down. So make a house beep 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 beep. I have really fast computer speeds. Make a house feel like a home. So basically, this is I guess you could say like an idiom or just in general some kind of phrase. And we use this whenever we're talking about, this is playing on the difference between the words house and home. So if you've never known, the difference is this. House is the physical object. It's like the place, the building, whereas home is the spiritual or I guess emotional component of that, where it's like it's the place where you live. So when you say make a house feel like a home, you're talking about I guess becoming more acquainted with the building, right? You're like falling in love with the building, I guess you could say. So that's what make a house feel like a home means. Yeah. Let's move on. Next is ideal home. In general, the word ideal can be used for a lot of things, but ideal home is a very good collocation, and it's talking about like a house that is perfect in terms of all the amenities and everything. It's comfortable for you specifically. So that's what ideal home means. Yeah. Next is to live on campus. This is talking about when you are living, whenever you go to university or some kind of university basically, and you live on. There's a word for this actually. I'm gonna write that down. Dormitory. So dormitory, or for sure dormitory. Here, yeah, dormitory for short. Dorm. This is the place where all of the students live. Right, they usually get cheaper housing because it's small. They get maybe like rooms. They don't really have. They have shared toilets and all that stuff. So that's called a dormitory. And if you live in a dormitory and you live like next to the university, that's called living on campus. And in general, on campus can actually be used to talk about a lot of different things that are in the university. So for example, you can say on campus police or on campus restaurant. So these are things to describe people or situations that have to do with being at a university. Next is mobile home. So mobile home is a home that can be moved. And another word for this actually is a trailer. Basically, it's like it's like a house on wheels, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, that's a synonym. That's all I can say. I forgot to post the fact that we have the lesson. Give me a moment. I'm always well put together. I never make any mistakes. Lesson starts. Okay. Hopefully that makes somebody join. Okay. So let's move on. Next is going to be the word move into. So move into is used whenever you want to talk about basically starting to live in some place. So that's called move into, and the opposite of that is move out of. So whenever you're talking about like leaving some kind of place, you are saying that you are moving out of it. And whenever you're moving into it, you're moving into it. That's it. Yeah. This is a very, very popular collocation. It's a phrasal verb. Very popular. I recommend you to learn this one by heart. Always use it because native speakers use it all the time. It's very versatile. And it's basically the most solid way to say this. Next is to own your own home. And the opposite of this is to take out a mortgage, I think. Honestly, I'm not very smart with homes because, I don't really have like my own place yet. So I can't tell you exactly what all this, means in terms of the real world, but I can tell you linguistically, take out a mortgage has to do with like a mortgage is a type of loan for a house, basically. And houses they usually take a lot of money because they're houses and stuff, and there's a market bubble, all that stuff. Anyway, and a mortgage is a type of loan where it's like a lot of money and you pay it over a lot of amount, like a lot of years. Yeah. Next is to pay rent in advance. In general, in advance is also a great phrase. I'm going to underline it. This is used to talk about any kind of like payment that is done before you are supposed to pay. So for example, like if you pay one time every month, if you pay in 1 month for like 2 months ahead, then that's called in advance. Yeah. Next is permanent address. And this is talking about a place where you live for a lot of time. And usually like this is the place that is written down in your passport, for example. Passport? I'm from the South. In your passport. So that's like your permanent address. Yeah. Next is property market. First of all, I hate the property market. It's terrible. All the prices right there are so terrible. If you look into any, like literally Uzbekistan, as far as I know, even Uzbekistan is just everything is terrible. That's very sad, But the property market is basically talking about like the whole market and all of the economy of buying and selling buildings. Yeah. Okay. I think that's about it. This word is good. These two, I'm going to write them down. Actually, these three, all the other ones don't really matter that much. Suburbs is the place at the edge of town where difference between urban and suburban. Urban is like where all of the big houses are, like the big skyscrapers, like for example, the Empire State Building or like all that stuff. In Tashkent, this would be, for example, near Mustaqilik Maidana. That's the urban area. The suburbs are where people live. So for example, Darhan is mostly like a suburban area because mostly people just live there. There's not a lot going on. Maybe there's like a couple restaurants, a couple shops, but in general it's just for living, and that's called a suburb, and it's usually at the edge of the town. Spacious room. Spacious just means big, and single room means that it's like you're paying only for one room, and that's it. Okay, these words are pretty simple. If you want to do pronunciation right now, raise your hand in the chat. If you want me to go over these words and do the pronunciation. If you do, raise your hand. If you don't, we're going to move on. Okay. I'll take that as a yes. I will take that as a yes. Okay, cool. So let's do pronunciation then. Let's get to it. First one. So we're going to say these one time because they're quite simple. If there's going to be any difficult words, we'll say them together again. So let's begin. Apartment block. Back garden. Second. Yadi. Backyard. Front yard. Backyard. To do up a property. Dream home. First time buyer. Fully furnished. Home comforts. Amenities. House hunting. Let's say this one again, actually. Amenities. Housewarming party. To make a house feel like a home. Ideal home. To live on campus. Dormitory. Let's say that again. Dormitory. Mobile home. Trailer. To move into. And the opposite of that is to move out of. To make your own home. Sorry, to own your own home. What? The person that wrote this is an actual like gibbon monkey. To own your own home. To take out a mortgage. This word, very important pronunciation. Let's do this again. Mortgage. Mortgage. There's no T. I think mort comes from the French to die, and that makes sense because as soon as you take out a mortgage, you're basically dead. Next is to pay rent in advance. To pay rent in advance. Permanent address. Let's say this word again. It's a very popular word in this topic. Address. Property market. Single room. Spacious room. The suburbs. All right, so that's it for the vocab part of this lesson. These words are great. Honestly, I'd recommend you do a lot of them. Not sure if all of them are very applicable, but most of them are, quite versatile. I enjoy them quite a bit. Okay, let's move on to the next section. I'm going to be answering I'm going to be answering some questions. Let's do this. How about right now you guys think about a couple questions, or if you want, you can find questions, or if you want, you can find questions in the app to do with this topic. So on the topic of accommodation, on the topic of like living somewhere, try to think about questions, and then I'm going to unmute a couple of you and I'm going to answer your questions instead of just questions from the internet. Okay, so whatever questions you specifically want to hear me answer, think about them and write them down. Make sure that you write it down first. I don't want you to just think about the question like randomly. Make sure you write it down. And then I'm going to ask you. So I'm going to give you like, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 seconds. Write down your questions, try to find them or whatever. And I'm going to be asking a couple of you your questions. So yeah, let's get to it. You guys have like 10, 20 seconds to find your questions. And then when you're ready, you can raise your hands. All right. So let's start with you. I hope you have a question. Muzaffar. Gioso Orle. I think you say it Orle. I actually remember it means like daughter of, as far as I remember, right? Yeah. I am actually a PhD in Uzbek language. Maybe you didn't know this, but I am. No, I'm joking. But yeah, anyway, so if you have a question, you may ask like an IELTS speaking question, part 1 or part 3. Hello? I don't think I can hear you. What did I do? Hello? Say something, please. Okay, wait, I'm confused. Okay, wait here. I'm gonna unmute you, Adham Kariev. Please say something so that I know whether my headphones are working or not. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, perfect. Okay, it's working. Okay, so do you have a question that's from part 1 or part 3 to do with this topic? For me to answer. Perfect. So what is your question?
It's about part 3.
Perfect. Ask me.
Why do so many people want to buy an expensive house while others prefer cheaper house?
Well, that's a great question. I think it really depends on the economic background and in general, the purpose of the first-time buyer. I think that a lot of people, the same with luxury cars, try to buy houses and try to do up old properties just for the sole purpose of trying to look rich. And I feel like sometimes even they can forego having proper amenities and home comforts. But as a whole, I feel like those people that try to buy more expensive houses, they are not house hunting to make a house feel like a home. They are trying to buy a house just to look more rich. Whereas people that are buying less expensive houses, they are really taking care of owning their own home and making sure that they have a permanent address that they can really care about. Yeah. What was your question again? Please tell me your question was, why do some people buy expensive? Why do some people buy cheap? Was that your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank God. I thought I forgot the question. Okay, good, good. Awesome. Thank you so much, Adham. All right. Let's move on. Okay, so next is Muzaffar. Do you have your question? Muzaffar. Okay, I don't think so. All right, Johnny. How you doing, Johnny? If you can, here, I'm gonna unmute you, Johnny. Please say hi if you can hear me.
Hey, yo, what's up? How's it going?
Yo, yo, yo. Dude, didn't you take your test already?
It's coming up on 25th of August, so yeah, it's just around
Oh,
the
really?
corner.
Is your full test on the 25th?
It's no, my full test is on 27th.
Your
Yeah,
speaking is on the 25th.
yeah, that's right.
What time?
Actually in the morning, yeah.
What time? What time?
I guess actually I scheduled it for like 10, but they're saying like
Oh,
11. I don't know.
okay, that's fair. That's unfortunate. Well, my speaking test is on the 25th at like 2, so I thought we could meet, but maybe not, Johnny. I'm sorry, Johnny. That's unfortunate. That is
Um,
unfortunate.
yeah, that is actually, but I'm not
Yeah.
taking the test in Tashkent though, but yeah.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Johnny, that does make sense. Where are you taking the
Yeah,
test if that's not a
uh,
secret?
like I'm like 1,000 kilometers away from Tashkent right now. So it's like in
Mm.
Nukus, in Nukus.
Ah, cool. No questions. Have you been to the Savitsky Museum? Is it good?
I really hate to say this, but no, never. Actually,
Really? Oh my God, I can't
yeah,
believe. I mean,
like as a student, like we got like student like badge, and we get discounts, or sometimes they get
mhm.
us, let us free. But I don't know, I just don't feel like going there. But most of my friends have been there, and they say, yeah, it's great, but um, they're it's not too much of a big deal, I guess. Like just
That
you
makes
know,
sense. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I guess it is what it is. All right. So, do you have a part one or part three question?
Um, I think it's a part three question, or I don't know, but what is the benefit of owning a huge house? The benefits of owning a huge house.
Okay, perfect. So let me answer your question. Um, if you own a huge house, I think that there's a very big contrast between your quality of life as a whole. When you live in a more mobile home or in a dormitory or in general in like on campus or in some kind of trailer, right? Not your ideal home, but just some kind of, single room place where you can just reside for the time being. I think mostly the benefits of that or the disadvantages of that are the exact opposite of the advantages of living in a big house, right? I think the number one thing is that you can have a lot of people over, and I honestly believe that for people that do purchase big houses, regardless of location, because I feel like location would be a bit more important in this case, a spacious house has the benefit of having a lot of people inside of it. You can have parties, you can have big meetings, you can have a lot of friends over. If you're somebody important and you're doing some kind of like business thing, you could have a lot of business partners over, for example. And I feel like in general, a lot of people's dream homes are large. I don't think that a lot of people dream about having a small house because I don't think that um, having the same thing but smaller carries any advantages. Yeah, that's it. That answer was a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit drawn
cool.
out. I tried to use some vocab from this, but in general, I think it kind of made sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
most important thing is by the end of your speech, the thing that you're trying to say has to be clear. So if you understand that you're saying something that isn't completely clear, then it's your job to be able to go back and make sure that it's clear, make sure that it's understandable. So
Yeah.
I do this as well all the time. Like, my speech is not always coherent. I will just say it right away. I sometimes wander into different topics that are not like
Yeah, like
completely logical.
in the first part, I was like, oh, where I was like starting to wonder where this was going.
Yeah.
Like advantages, disadvantages. It was like, what? But yeah, then
Yes.
spacious and like space, room, and then it made it clear. But
Absolutely,
yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, yeah, it always happens. Speech is not linear, and so when you don't know what to say, just make sure to remember to go back to what the question was really about originally. And you asked about the advantages, and I was like, wait, the question was about advantages, and I went back to that. So that's important. Yeah, but yeah, thank you for your question, Johnny.
please,
Yes.
there's also
What's
one
up?
question that I'm pondering, and this is like, what is your dream house? What is your dream house?
Oh, is this another question? Is this part 3 or part 1? This is part 1, right?
Yeah, part 1, I guess.
Yeah, this is part 1. Well, I have a very clear picture of my dream home. I've lived in apartments before and I've hated it. So my dream home would be on the ground. It would have a picturesque back garden, a backyard with a trampoline, probably for when I have kids and have the kids jump on the trampoline. I'd have a barbecue, maybe 2 barbecues, so I can have all my friends over and have a drink or two and eat some fresh meat. And the house itself would be large. It would probably be minimalistic style because that is the most interesting style in my opinion, and it looks the best. And it would be fully furnished. It would have all the comforts, maybe a pool, maybe something else, but that is my dream home. I think the back garden would be the most important part for me.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much, Johnny. Awesome questions. Great. Okay, so I think we can move on from that. Yeah, thank you so much. Awesome. So next topic. Okay, Muzaffar, I'm gonna mute you. I will see you again. Oh, hey.
Hello, Alex.
Hi. Okay, here. You can ask your question. Do you have a part 1 or a part 3 question?
I think it's a part 3 question.
Okay.
Well,
ask ahead.
Yeah. Do you agree that there is a right age for young adults to stop living with their parents?
I think this goes back to the old saying and something that I like to tell myself a lot, which is life is not a race. I feel like it's important to always remember there's no timer. And as much as I do believe that there is a good time, I don't think that I can say that it's a right time. I feel like as soon as a person hits about, I don't know, maybe 24, 25, most of the time they're going to be in quite a stable life position. They're going to be able to finance themselves and they're going to be able to pay for their own food and their own housing. But I think that, one moment, sorry. I think that in general, there's no right time as much as there is a good time. Yeah, that is my answer. Sorry, I got a bit distracted there because I got an important message. But yeah, that's basically my answer. Great question. For this question, I feel like it's very important. And actually, this is something we're going to talk about later this week. I think maybe even tomorrow. It's important to immediately know what type of structure you're going to use for your answer and what kind of information you're going to include. And in this case, I included the fact that I don't know the right answer. And a lot of times for your IELTS speaking, you're going to have questions where you should immediately know that your answer is not going to be like the only answer. And that carries a specific type of structure with it. And that's what we're going to talk about. But yeah, anyway, yeah. Thank you for your question, Muzaffar.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on. So today's topic is VNW. So here is the difference between VNW, and you need to practice this a lot. Everyone needs to practice this. This is a very it's a very big thing. It's this is something that one second. Yeah. This is something that is a very clear mistake, right? So sometimes for pronunciation, there's like things that are kind of mistakes, kind of not mistakes, just kind of a gray area. It depends on your accent. No. This is not an accent thing. This is either a mistake or not a mistake. The V sound is made when your top teeth bite the bottom lip. You should try it right now. So let's all do it together. If I had video, you could kind of see it a little bit more clearly. But just imagine, like your top teeth, they are touching the bottom lip. That's it. So let's kind of try and make this sound together, I guess. I'm going to be making it by myself, so it's going to sound a bit strange. But hopefully you guys are, following at home. And another thing is the V sound is voiced. So the V is going to vibrate your throat. If you remember, you should take your 2 fingers and put them on your throat and you're going to feel a vibration. So makes a vibration, like like your phone, basically. W is produced with rounded lips. So you should imagine like a long oval, like I can't even imagine a shape. A long oval, basically, with your lips. So that's ooh. And W is also voiced, so you're also going to feel the vibration in your throat. So yeah, for this, what I'd recommend, first of all, just practice. You should know which sounds are V, which sounds are W. That is important. Yeah, let's practice this. Let's say these words and then, yeah, check them. Let's go. Oh yeah, here's actually a good tip. If you're practicing on your own, try saying both words and making sure your pronunciation of each is different. For example, by looking at your mouth shape in the mirror. So get a mirror, literally stand in front of a mirror and answer by looking at the mirror and like checking whether the shape of your mouth is correct there, which is, it's a really good way to practice actually. So let's get to it. We're going to say all of these. So I'm going to say like, 1 pause, 2 pause. Yeah, let's get to it. V, we, vent, went, vest, west, vet, wet, very, wary, veil, whale, verse, worse, vic, wick, vile, while, vine, wine, vow, wow. Let's say that one again. Vow, wow, vi, why, vine, wine, volley, wally, these, wheeze, v, we, vain, wane, versed, worst. So yeah, as you can see, why is this so important? Well, whenever you're speaking, if you say a word, like for example, the word clothes, right? If you say it as closes, then even if the person that's speaking understands you because he knows what you're trying to say, that doesn't count because you're supposed to say the correct word. The word closes is literally another word. And it's the same with all this. If instead of saying why, you say vi, that's literally a different word. Vi, it's pronounced the same way, except the V is different. It's a completely different word. The same with worst. Versed is a different word. And all of these, while. If you say vile, that's a different word. So it's important to understand that you should say the V and the W differently. All these words are good examples of that. So yeah, perfect. Let's move on. Let's get to it. That's it. Let's get to feedback. Today we have got for feedback. Today we have got some people for our feedback. Today is the 23rd. Yeah. 23rd. So yeah, let's get to it. One moment. This should still be turned on. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna scroll up. Okay. I think you guys can still see the screen. No. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So today the first person is going to be Abdulayeva Asilzoda. Abdulayeva Asilzoda, please raise your hand so I can see you. Abdulayeva Asilzoda. Okay, let's move on to the next person. The next person is Shahzad. Not that Shahzad, another Shahzad. Yeah, Shahzad, what's up? If you can hear me, please say hi.
Hello, Alex. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to hear you. So, are you ready? Do you want a part 1 or a part 3?
Part 3.
Wait a second. Is that the right Shahzad? 1 second. Shahzad, is that the right Shahzad?
Okay. Yeah, this is Shahzad.
Wait. Okay, sorry, that was it. Okay, yeah. All right, let's move on. So, part 3. Here's your question. Is it better to own your own home or to rent?
So nowadays, many people are willing to move city areas. In city areas, the accommodation is the price of accommodation is higher. At this time, people so try to rent home because of their low budget. Yeah, and also it is comfortable if they are not affordable to buy house, so owning how can I say owning rent home is preferable for those people.
Okay, cool. So first of all, good. That was a part 3. So your answer was almost the right length. I think it may be a little bit too long. You made a couple like grammatical mistakes where your structure is kind of strange. For example, you said the price of accommodation is higher at this time. Higher than what?
Yeah.
Higher than what?
Higher before. I mean.
Higher than before. Yeah. So for example, if you were saying higher, you should have said higher than before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Low budget was a good vocab word. If they are not affordable to buy house. If they are not affordable
to buy a house.
What does affordable mean?
Affordable. It means they don't have enough money to buy house. Yeah, to own their house. For this reason,
so
they.
I understand. No. I understand the meaning of what you're saying, but the word affordable means that you can pay money for it. If you say the phrase "if they are not affordable," that means that the people that are trying to buy the house are affordable. Not the house, the people. Like you are buying the people. That doesn't make sense, right? So just first of all, work on your like grammar. I think that's kind of the main thing. Your vocab is pretty good. Your like pronunciation is like all right. I think I didn't hear any problems. Work on your grammar. That's like the main thing. Everything else is pretty good.
But Alex, I have a question too.
What's up?
So always I have a problem. So in terms of fluency and generating idea, yeah.
Well, listen, I didn't see that today. Today I saw grammar. Like you had enough ideas. At one point you realized, oh no, I don't have enough ideas. I need to continue speaking. And you just continued speaking without problem. That is literally fluency. So I think you should work on your grammar more than your fluency, because from what I hear, your fluency is fine, really.
Okay. So this question in topic, yeah? I'm not off topic, yeah?
Nope, you're doing great. So, yeah, it's perfect, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day. All right, let's move on to the next person. Thank you, Shahzad. The next person is going to be. One moment. The homework. Sorry, no. The next person is Artikova Aziza. Artikova Aziza. Please raise your hand if you can hear me. Hello. All right. Oh, Abdullahi Vasilzada, she's here. Perfect. Okay, we're going to ask you after this. So, Aziza, please say hi if you can hear me.
Hi.
Would you like a part 1 or part 3?
What?
Would you like a part 1 or a part 3?
Yes.
What? No, see, I asked you. I gave you 2 options. What do you mean, yes?
I prefer part 1.
Okay, perfect. So here's your question. Do you live in a house or an apartment?
Nowadays, I am living in the house, but 3 or 4 months ago, I moved to the house from apartment.
Okay, is that it? Is that the end of your answer?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's a little bit too short. This is part 1, but your answer is still supposed to be around maybe 3 sentences, something like that. So if you added one more idea, it would be good. Maybe I feel like, so how you could make this into an actually good answer is if you said something about your like move, like, oh, so the last sentence you said was, I moved, and you could have said something like, I really did not like this because my previous house was because I liked my previous house a lot more. Something like that. And then it would be very clear and it would just sound great. But you didn't have that. So try to maybe extend your answers, especially for part 1. I don't know how your part 3 is, but maybe your part 3 suffers from the same problem. And pronunciation, nowadays, and the word months. Months and nowadays. Those are your problem words.
Months.
So months. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, Aziza. Have a great day.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's move on to the next person. The next person is going to be Abdullah Vasil Zola. Hi. What's up? Guys, in general, please next time, like, don't be late. You can see all of the orders. So if you're at the beginning of the lesson, then please be here at the beginning of the lesson. Please say hi if you can hear me, Asal Zola.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, so would you like a part 1 or part 3?
Doesn't matter.
All right, let's do a part 3. Let's do a part 3. So, what are some of the pleasures involved in making a home for ourselves?
It's an interesting question that, home is a place where you live like entire your life. So you need to kind of just make a cozy place and just I don't know, have something that you like in it, and making it with pleasure. I mean, with things that you like to be in your house is the greatest thing ever. That's all.
Okay. Is that the end of your answer? Are you sure? This is part 3. You can make it a little bit longer.
Longer.
Yeah.
I can add. Also, I think like making your house better with pleasure or just choosing your house should depend like on your just. You should listen to your heart. I mean, while choosing a house or decoration for your house, you should do with everything with your soul, so that in the future when you're living there, you'll be like enjoying it like in your whole life.
Okay, awesome. That was a great answer. So perfect, yeah. The answer with the extension was perfect. Without the extension, it was quite a bit too short. This is part 3, remember? So you should have at least like 4 to 5, something like that, sentences. So yeah, great job. A couple mistakes. Entire your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the second thing is making your house better with pleasure. So what does that mean, better with pleasure?
I don't know. I just kind of it popped out of my
Yeah.
head.
Yeah. It's a little bit strange of a structure. I think you could say something like making your house more pleasurable to live in. I guess you could say that. But in general, I really like the way that you have a lot of different like kinds of. You have a lot of filler in your speech, which is actually perfect. That is also going to be one of the topics for this week. You need to have a lot of different like words, like for example, the word just and kinda and all that kind of stuff. And you use that a lot. But here's what I would recommend you to change. First of all, find a synonym for the word just, because you use the word just too much. And also try to use the word and less. You have a kind of like nasally tone. And the word and, this is a problem that a lot of Southern people have, because a lot of like people from the South, they say like, and you kind of speak in the same way. And like, it's good in terms of pronunciation, all that stuff. But the problem is that it just, at least for me, it doesn't sound the most appealing, I guess. So try to use the word and less, I would say. Maybe think of like as well as or something of that sort. So yeah. And yeah, find a synonym for the word just. Thank you so much.
I mean, like, what is kind of a score for this page?
With the extension, I would say probably 7, maybe 7.5. Without the extension, I'd say maybe 6.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Have a great day. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Let's move on to the next person. Okay, so the next person is going to be. Someone asked me that my IELTS, my speaking will be held on the 25th. Yes, my speaking is on the 25th after 2 days. I'm really excited and also really scared. I'm going to be talking about it, I think, on the channel after I take the test. So yeah, y'all should get excited for that. All right, let's move on. So the next person is going to be Asadova Gulniso, please. Oh, there we go. You're here. Perfect. Thank you, Gulniso. Awesome. Please say hi if you can hear me.
Hi, Alex.
All right. Would you like a part 1 or a part 3?
Part 1.
Okay. So here's your question. Can you please tell me about where you live?
Well, luckily, I live in Tashkent, the capital city. It's a huge, bustling international city. You know, people from all over the world live and work there. I have been living there since I was born. I'm really attached to it.
Okay, awesome. Did I just hear this, or did you say I'm really attached to it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. Perfect. Yeah. So that's a great structure. That's something that native speakers say a lot. And I think that one way that you could make it better is by adding the word sentimentally. I say this word all the time. Honestly, it's a great word. You can put it into a lot of situations when you're talking about emotion. So if you said, I'm really sentimentally attached to it, that would take your vocab to the next level. Now, pronunciation of the word world and also of the word attached. I would say work a little bit on your grammar. Sorry, not your grammar, your pronunciation. Your grammar is fine. Pronunciation, and also add a bit more vocab, and then you're going to take your speech like really far, because it's already pretty good, but just work on it some more. Vocab plus pronunciation, and you're going to be doing great. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Guniso. All right, let's move on to the next person. The next person is going to be Maftuna Baba Morodova. Hey, what's up? Perfect. Oh my God, you guys are already here. That's so nice. Thank you. Perfect. Please say hi if you can hear me. You were here, but then you fell asleep. Where
Hello.
are you? Hi, what's up? All
Hello.
right, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, would you like a part 1 or a part 3?
part 3.
Perfect. So here's your question. What options are available to young couples looking for accommodation in your country?
I think single room is the best option for couples because the beginning of their life in new sphere, new atmosphere, they always have a bit low low financial field because of a very after a large ceremony or wedding, they had to pay more for this party, and they want to live in some low price accommodation, and when they have some work which are well paid job, and they find some kind of large accommodation in order to live, and I think the best option is single room.
Okay. So here's the main thing, right? I can hear you're using vocab and grammar very effectively. You made one pronunciation mistake and one grammar mistake where you said couples. So you said it a little bit strange, not a mistake, but a slip up, I guess. And also you said which will be well paid closer to the end. But here's like your biggest problem and something that I think you should work on. Maybe it's because you are stressed right now, but as a whole, I think this is probably a problem that you have often. Your speech is kind of hard to follow because you have a lot of corrections. It's like you start saying something and then you correct yourself immediately after, and then it just continues. And it's like you say the same thing over and over and over again. Like, for example, the word they, right? So I think that You should work on that. Try to practice by writing down like the ideas that you're going to use and the things that you're going to say, and try to kind of not repeat the same things over and over. Like think of a sentence that you're going to say. Like, what am I saying right now? Say it, take a pause, move on to the next sentence, and just keep going one by one. And then practice doing this each time you're doing like some kind of topic for speaking. So I'd say that is the best advice I can give you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Excuse me, how can you assess my score?
That's a good question. I'm really not sure, given how, like, I kind of understood it, but I also kind of didn't understand it, so I'm not sure how much we'd get on your coherence. Maybe around 5.56, something like that, I guess. Probably closer to 5.5, because of this problem. It's a very big problem. It's unclear what you're saying. So even if you're using the correct grammar and structures, it doesn't sound like it's correct. So yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, have a great day. Let's move on to the next person. The next person is going to be Zinura. Please raise your hand so I know that you're here. Zinura. All right, let's move on to the next person then. So the next person for today is going to be Ibrahim. Yes, Ibrahim, you were waiting all this time. Please say hi if you can hear me, Ibrahim.
What's up?
Yo, dude, it's been so long. How are you? Are you ready? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm so glad for talking with you,
Perfect. All right. So would you like a part 1 or part 3?
I think part 1 is better right now.
Perfect. Let's do it. Here's your question. In what kind of accommodation do most people live in your city?
Well, in my city, most people live in the yard, because in our city all time are just include suburb and suburb places a lot of, but in terms of this municipal place all in Tashkent city. And that's why is a lot of people live several places, and in terms of backyard and backyard size, just big. Huge. Yeah.
Okay. So here is the biggest thing. Let's talk a little bit about your conclusion. So oftentimes when you listen to my samples, you will hear me say, so yeah, at the end, right? But here's how you make like a good conclusion and like a good ending to your speech, right? So you need to have like a logical end. You need to kind of conclude everything. You need to bring everything to a close. And in your speech, what I heard is like you said, so just big, I mean huge, comma, yeah. Like it sounded a bit strange because I didn't expect it to end there. Yeah, so I would say that the biggest thing is work on your conclusion, work on how you finish your speeches, right? But otherwise, work on your grammar as well. Those are the biggest things. Everything else you're doing great. Your vocab is pretty nice. Topic and academic vocab are both great. And fluency is pretty good. So work on your grammar and then also on ending, like how you finish your speeches. Yeah.
Can you just mark some kind of mark maybe?
Sure. You guys keep asking for marks. I hate giving marks. I'll give you a mark, but like please stop asking for marks. It makes me sad. I hate it. You know, everybody.
Okay. Next time I want us.
Purpose. Here. Yeah. Next time. Yeah. Here. So your mark is, I think, around 6.5. I think that's a pretty solid one. Yeah. Like I in general understood what you're saying. You didn't make too many mistakes, but work on it and you can become even better.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Let's move on to the next person. I think this could be one of the last people for today, I think. Could be potentially. Bakhti. He's ready. He's ready. Please say hi if you can hear me, Mr. Bakhti.
Hello, sir.
What's up? How are you doing today? Would you like a part 1 or part 3?
Let's do part 3.
Okay. Here's your question. what are some of the pleasures involved in making a home for ourselves?
There could be many things to become. I mean, the pleasure for people, like building a house for their needs and for their wants. I mean, they can build a house as they imagine, and they will not regret at the end of the structure, and they can decorate their house as they want. And another thing is they can build the house whenever they want, and it can give it for individual very good pleasure, and as well as amusement.
Okay, perfect. So, that was actually really good. Let me give you some feedback. First of all, needs and wants. That's great. It's interesting. It's like a collocation. It's not really a collocation, but it's like a popular phrase that people say as they imagine. Another thing is, and as well as amusement. You're just like throwing in these words. You're not making mistakes. You have the right intonation. The biggest thing is I can just hear this kind of meandering. Like, I feel like if you were just a little bit more compact with the way that you're saying things, it could be a lot better. In general, this speech was, I think, like, I don't know, 7.5 maybe. It was really good. I really liked it, but try to work on making it more like, I've said this before, task achievement is not part of your grade, but like try to speak a bit more, I don't know, like to the point, I guess. Yeah, that's kind of what I would say. And like, for example, whenever you said another thing is, that was great, but why don't you start by saying one thing is, and then you say another thing is, and then it would just be like amazing. It would be so good. Right now, I think it's like 7.5, but you could bring your score up like way higher if you just add a couple of these like little connections, like one thing is, another thing is. But otherwise, you're doing great, Bakhti. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Have a great day. So, yeah, I think that is about it. Is that it? Yeah. Zinura, if you can hear me, please say hello. Please raise your hand, Zinura. Zinura. Okay, Zinura, you're not here. You're not here, Zinura. I'll see you again. Never. I'm joking. If you're here next lesson, then maybe I'll ask you. But anyway, yeah. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much. That is it. That's all the people for today. Yeah. Remember to do your homework. Homework is very important to improving. Yeah, that's it. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye. See you guys. I'll send the homework today soon. Goodbye.